Yeah, you can be sure they're watching me. I ducked into a deli, have lunch before I do this march, and sitting there eating my lunch, and what comes on? A cop show where they're sitting there interrogating some guy, watching him from another room with a surveillance camera. Like they were the place had all kinds of cameras in the place. It was, you can't go anywhere in fucking New York without a camera. So they were watching me. Sure, they're having this whole place watched. You can do just about anything now. So I was telling the guy, he was eating his lunch, I says, well, you know, they got cameras in the place, it's open source, they can just grab it and watch you eating your Big Mac. He says, oh, I didn't know that. He says, well, now you do. And he also told me it's in Revelation that he says that they will watch everything you buy and sell. They will watch you buying everything, buying and purchasing everything. They'll watch you while you're doing it. He says it's actually right in the Bible, in Revelation. So I have to check that out. But yeah, right next to a graveyard. That's appropriate, I guess. In his church, it's one of the oldest churches in New York, and it managed to survive. They look pretty unscathed. In fact, all these buildings around here look pretty much absolutely unscathed, except for the ones they intended to come down. Which tells you it was totally a fucking inside job. It was totally fucking controlled demolitions that brought these buildings down. At least one of these buildings would have toppled off sideways or something. Would have wiped out all kinds of a bunch of these other buildings. But it didn't. Don't make money off of dead people. I'm not robbing the building. Yeah, federal office building. Yeah, nice tidy little crime scene. Just the buildings they wanted to come down for all their nice specific reasons. And life just goes on. That's what they wanted. Just another day in the life of Crime City, Washington, D.C. Anything goes anymore. Any crime they desire, they can cover up, conceal, harass, surveil anybody who speaks out against their crimes. That's it.
Harassments towards me, and my I started.
Why were you being harassed?
Because there were no accountings in my father's deceased $1 million estates, and then this religious group started with the Desert Storm War and the Clinton administration. They started, the people that promised to help me get accountings instead started to use my life for other things, for wars and for, like Ralph Nader was a support system of mine.
So you think they were after your money to some degree?
No, they were not after my money. They were after that I didn't tell anyone their involvement with corporations. You got churches and temples involved with corporations.
Our religious structure is very involved with the intelligence community, yes, too. I think they're doing a lot of shit to people. I really do. I think that these people. That's part of my experience too. I got involved in a ministry in Florida, and after that, my life became a nightmare because I didn't want to go off and be part of their cult. Christian community.
They're involved with the military.
They're involved with the military, the intelligence community, I think. They even helped put a black guy in office, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, I tapped into all of that myself. Trust me, I know what you're talking about. But how does that relate to 9/11, though? I mean, do you?
Oh, in July or August of 1991, or 2019, and just before in 2001, July and August, because of the harassments with me, my friend offered me to go to Ocean Grove. Now, I'd been watched all the time, and my life was always used for corporate crime. It still is today. I can't explain it.
So what do you think is watching you? Who do you think's watching you?
These ministers, that's a camera over there. Nothing is confidential here.
Oh, it's confidential between you and me. And, I mean, but provided that you need to get your story out, though. This stuff needs to be told.
So
because I understand what you're talking about.
This is what I wrote today.
Okay. But tell me. He's totally corrupt. Him and his wife, President Hillary.
So I was involved in their impeachment proceedings because of the ways my life was violated. So I was involved with Ralph Nader and Kenneth Starr, who is an independent counselor, and he was the 1993 World Trade Center bombings were part of the Clinton administration. The Oklahoma Federal Building bombings were part of the Clinton administration.
They planned this thing right here. This happened 8 months after they left office. You don't think they had that plan too?
Yes.
Of course they did, yeah.
They had it planned in 1993 for the World Trade Center.
Yeah, it didn't come down then, so they had to do it again. This time they did it right. So
the West Side Stadium was connected. Like if they didn't do this, they were going to do West Side Stadium. But
you said you were notified in advance.
When I went to Ocean Grove, and I go to Unity, and this fundamental group of ministers is for Unity. And at that time, my minister, the minister I was talking to, was in Hawaii, Pearl Harbor, and I told him I'm going to Ocean Grove to get away from these harassments. And then when I went there,
well, who do you think was harassing you specifically, though? If you had to say specifically, the church, you said?
No, the FBI. I had lots of communications with the FBI about what was going on. They had me go to Daniel Moynihan to complain about the harassments, and Daniel Moynihan, the Catholic Church, told me I need a lawyer, but Robert Morgenthau was involved with...
Oh, he's criminal. I've heard horrible things about him. I don't know, maybe... I don't know what to think.
He was involved with my family of origin states.
What do you think of him, Morgenthau? Is he good or bad?
He won't even help stop any of the harassments. He's involved in it. I have it in writing. He won't stop the harassments. The police are good people after 9/11. Before 9/11, the police were not on my side.
So specifically, who do you think is harassing you again? Give me
corporations.
But how do they harass you?
I went to see Michael Moore's movie the other day. The next day they had a thing on films. The newspaper violates my life every day. Whatever I do, they use some part of my life. My phone is tapped.
You got to go to that website, surveillanceissues.com.
Yeah.
Check that out. That's exactly, they're doing the same thing to me. They can harass you through the media.
Yeah.
It's called the media mafia. They can harass you over the TV. They can harass you over the radio, over the newspaper. You can have a conversation. Next thing you know, you see it in the newspaper. You see it on TV. You see it in the internet. This is how they operate. It's called the media mafia.
Yes, I know that.
Got to read that.
I get in my boss's house. He has like those things with the push pins that capitalism uses. I walk a dog. They use that. They use whatever I do all the time.
Yeah. This is how they operate. It's an intelligence company. Actually, and they're outsourcing. The NSA is doing some of this, and they're outsourcing it to former Israeli military intelligence people who are attacking Americans.
Morgenthau is involved with Zionism. That's part of it. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's insane. You start investigating these people, and they will use any tactic to silence people, to quiet people. What is your phone number? It's Elizabeth, right?
Fern, F-E-R-N.